This is Cinema.
And this is Johannes.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
Well, welcome to another Rambling Reviews. And today it is Capstone Games Edition. These are two of the titles from Capstone Games in 2020. And both of these are from very well-known designers. So hopefully they're good.
Let's start with New York Zoo by UV Rosenberg.
Yeah, that is this game right here. This is another puzzle game, another Tetramino game from UV Rosenberg, where you have a zoo and you want to fill it with things. I don't really
animals,
know. No, you don't really want to fill it with animals, but you want to fill it with animals and remove the animals so you can fill it with other attractions as well. The theme here is not very strong. So it is another Tetramino game. I must say, first of all, the components here look great. I think the artwork is nice, especially I love the artwork here of these skeptical looking, especially the kangaroo and the flamingos. What are you trying to do? I love that, and it looks very nice. The pieces are very good, even though the kangaroo kind of looks like a very strange man in a suit with ears. It looks more like a man in a kangaroo suit than actually a kangaroo. But other than that, I think the artwork is nice. The pieces are just green in different shades, but they are easy enough to differentiate the different pieces of green. So I enjoyed that. I think it looks good. So, but that doesn't matter if the game isn't good. So let me know. Is the game good?
To choose what either animals or pieces, Tetramino pieces you're going to build. You're moving around on this rondel. Is it that it's called?
Yeah, it's kind of. It's kind of like a queue system in Patchwork, and a lot of his other games has this kind of thing.
And you can move 1 to 3 spaces. I think that
it's a different between the players. So 2 players it's 4, and then difference between
players. We played it with 2 and 3 players.
Yeah.
And I think that moving on that is cool because you're then both deciding if you want an animal or what piece do you want, but also when you move across a certain place on the board, you're activating a breeding of the animals, and you're also trying to see where to move and to block other players what they want to do. So that is neat.
Absolutely, and it's not a real Uwe Rosen game without having breeding in it, animal breeding.
Yes.
So that's kind of a neat thing, that timing, but it kind of stops there because this game is not very engaging. It's a pure race game trying to fill up your board as fast as possible. But it's not very fun. It has a timing element, as you said, but other than that, it isn't really good. It just feels very samey. It feels like I've played this Rosenberg game before. It's not enough new things here to make me feel like this is something I need. I feel still like Rosenberg has been so into these Tetramino things for many, many years now, and I still feel like the first one was the best one, Patchwork.
Yeah.
And he has had some great ones after that, but it's just maybe he should try doing something else than the same thing again and again and again and again without actually adding something to it.
I think I can see what he's trying to do with adding this new element that is the animal, because if you can fill up the Tetramino piece with all the animals, then you can get a bonus piece.
Attraction, basically,
so I think I can see what he was going for, and I also on paper, in my brain, I think, that sounds
on paper
fun.
In your brain.
On paper, my paper brain. It sounds fun.
Yeah.
I can when you tell me how the game is supposed to play, and I see it on the table, I think this should be fun.
Yeah.
But as you say, when I play this game, I'm not very it's not very important where I lay these certain Tetramino pieces. It's not super tight, the board, and also the breeding of the animals doesn't engage me that much either. So it's nothing there to keep me playing it.
No, we're not going to keep this game. It's not interesting enough. I'm going to rate it a 5. I think it's not a bad game. I know a lot of people like it, but for me it's just an average game. Nothing special, nothing that keeps me going back to it.
Yes, 5 for me as well. An average game.
So that is New York Zoo. Next up we have Renature from Wolfgang Kramer and Michael Kiesling, a duo designer who's been around for a very long time. And whenever they make a game, I do have my eyes open. Even though we haven't played many of their classic games, which I would really love to do, every time they make a game, I'm looking for it. So we did buy this. And Renature is a game about putting the nature back in the nature. So you are renaturing the nature.
Yes.
With animals and trees. So in this game, it's basically dominoes. It's basically dominoes where you are placing a tile with two different animals on it, and then the next player can place a tile, and they have to match the animal to the other animal. And also what they're trying to do is also place different shrubs and trees, different bushes, into areas to have area majority, and that is basically what to do in the game.
Yes. And components-wise, this game looks fine.
Yeah.
I think it's very clear what you're doing and which animals are where. I think the dominoes tiles are really chunky and very nice quality, and also the trees and bushes that you place look good.
Yeah, I think the game looked like it. I think the dominoes are good, but the board is not very nice looking. It's kind of plain, but
it's made to be filled up. That's very easy to say.
Absolutely, because the board is pretty boring.
Yeah.
So I do like this, like taking dominoes, which is a classical, very old game, which this basically is. It's dominoes mixed with area majority. And I really like that. But the thing that adds to it and makes it work is that every player has pieces of their own color and also a neutral player. So you can, if you feel like, oh, I want to go in here to destroy your plans of getting these points, the majority of these points for this area, but I don't care so much about this area myself, I can go in there with a neutral piece so that ends up scoring me some points, but I'm not going to get points for the actual scoring part of when the area scores. And I really like that. I feel like that adds to the game a lot. I feel like the game would have been a lot worse without that.
Yeah.
It really adds to that.
Yeah, I like the neutral player as well. The area majority works as in Las Vegas if you play that. So if you and I have the same value of trees or bushes or
because they have different values,
yes.
so different bushes and trees.
And then our trees nullify each other.
Yeah.
So if there's a third party in that area, they will go off or something with all the points.
They will get all the points.
Get all the
they
points.
Will go off into the wall. But that's also another thing that you use the neutral pieces for.
Yes.
Let's say you have a value of 4 and I have a value of 1 in there. If I then put the last piece, which surrounds the area, so it scores, and I add a 4 neutral piece, then suddenly you get 0 points, and I get all of the points in that area, and that is very neat. I like that a lot.
Two other interesting things is you want to be the person that surrounds an area, because then you get some additional points. So even if you're not even in that area, you want maybe to trigger a scoring there either way.
Yeah, you will get some points for that.
Yes, absolutely. Also, you can spend some, clouds that are basically points to take some of your pieces and also the neutral pieces back.
Yeah.
So if you're empty or you see like opening a possibility, that can, net you some cool points as well.
Some cool points, all of the cool points.
Awesome points.
This is one of those games where we also played it with 4 players first. And then we're going to play the 2-player where it sounds like, oh, is that going to work? And it works surprisingly well because of the neutral player. Without that, it would have been very boring with 2 players because it would just be like only, oh, I win or I'll lose. But the neutral player adds to that and makes this actually a very viable game with 2 players as well.
Yes, I like it more with 4 players, but I feel like they're both the 2 different puzzles. In a 2-player game, it's more predictable. It's like you versus me. I can see that you're fighting over this area too, or you're going to do the neutral player. With more players, there are less, predictable what players are going to do, and I can also leave some areas alone because you other guys are fighting over it.
So this is a fine game. It's not anything that makes me be like, oh, I have to play it again. It's like one of those games I'm like unsure if I want to keep in a collection, because I don't think I will ever play it again, but then again, I liked it so much that I would like to have the possibility to play it again.
Yeah.
So this might be a game that might be in the collection for a little while, but probably in 3 months when you look at the collection, like, do we really need that game? That's how I feel about it now. So I'm going to rate it a 6. I think it's a fine game, a bit over average, but not anything special.
Yes, I'm going to rate it a 6 as well. And this is one that I would love to play, but with so many games, it's easy for this kind of game to find a fall between the cracks, and we forget that it exists. So
that is true, and those are the 2 games getting reviewed today. So that means that this is the end of the video. If you are still here and you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so now. It's free. If you want to do something that's not free, you can go to patreon.com/boardgamingramblings and support us there. It helps a lot, and you can also join our Discord community and have a lot of fun over there. So that would be amazing. Thank you so much for watching. That's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.